So, as I said in a previous video, you had to park by Dramoyne Oval. So there's not many places here where you have 24-hour park. But look, we actually snagged one right in the shade today. So the oval's just there. We're not blocking anyone's right at the front of anyone's house. So hopefully there shouldn't be too many complaints about that.
We're missing what happened on the freeway.
Alright, so what have we got here, Dave?
Blown tyre.
We've got a blown tyre.
Both Dave and I heard a pop.
Same.
Right, do you know what you're doing here, Dave?
Not particularly. We actually have replaced, I believe, 3 tyres on the boat, and this was the last one that hasn't been replaced. We put another old one on, so we'll see if we can limp into Morisset and get a couple of repairs. Yep, here's Dave, getting us out of trouble.
Dave from Morisset Tyres has just explained that each tyre, if it's about 50 psi, will take about 500 kilos. So if each tyre is 50, that's 2 tonnes. So we're going to put about 55 in each.
Yes, Cooper.
The front is that ferry over there kind of looks.
Alright, well, hopefully I can keep this a little bit still. So we've come through the Sydney Harbour Bridge on the 30th, just before New Year's Eve. It's pretty windy and it's very choppy with all the boats. Lots of boats going through under the bridge. Alright, here we are at Sirius Cove. Nice little sandy anchorage here. It's not very deep, as you can see. There's a few people out there that are only waist deep, but for the trailer sailor that's no troubles. Sirius Cove is a dog beach, as you can see. A lovely little sandy area there to pull up and enjoy the day. But Sirius Cove also has a toilet block, which is right up there in the distance, which also has a shower, and there's even a barbecue. There's some electric barbecues up there available as well. And then of course the kids have also got the play gym. So Sirius Cove here on the north side of Sydney Harbour is a definite tick in our books. Campbell, is that you? Have you learnt to snorkel?
Yeah.
Oh, can you see much?
Yeah.
Okay, you show us how you snorkel.
What?
I wonder what would happen if we all sat on one side of the boat. Let's see if you can lean back far enough and get the boat to go over yourselves. You ready? Pull, boys, pull! Pull! Oh, oh no! Okay, who wants to play hide and go seek?
Where can you hide? Where can you hide? Where can you hide,
The southern shoreline of Sirius Cove adjoins Taronga Zoo. You can walk out to the headland and get a glimpse of the harbour bridge, and on this occasion, all of the boats preparing for the New Year's Eve celebrations. The walk can also take you down to Curlew Camp, circa 1890. There are a few signposts which will explain the history of the site.
Thank you.
Alright, here we are. Curfew Camp. Curlew Camp.
Oh, let's go.
And there's the Sea Scouts building.
That tiny little boat.
There's also a walk up to the headland on the western side of Sirius Cove, where there's a nice little park for the kids to have a play on.
Are we going to run ashore? What? Turn where? Yep.
And the final bonus about Sirius Cove is that there is a tap on shore that will reach the boat if you have a hose. So we filled up our water tank before heading around the point to have a look at Mosman Bay.
Okay, so we've got all the lovely boats moored here in Mosman Bay, and then over there we've got Mosman Rowers Club, and it looks like you can get coffee and maybe lunch. And over to the right is the Mosman Bay Marina and a playground down the end.
We just checked out Mosman Bay here, come right up into the bay. There's a little bit of a shallow point right there, but the rest of that little nook there is quite deep, so that could be an option for later tonight.
Marina and
Okay, well, those of us that keep a keen eye on everything would notice that Katana 42 behind me. That Katana 42 got busted for smuggling like 700 kilos of cocaine into Australia, and they were actually sitting just at Toronto Wharf, and the police did a bust on them. So that is the boat, an infamous boat that did that.
Neutral Bay has a small number of shops, which includes a convenience store. You can get things like ham, bread, milk, butter and cereals, but it's not stocked for things that you might need to cook up for dinner. One of the interesting things is the small passageway down to the beach.
Who would have known? Who would have thought that Sydney Harbour, only less than a kilometre from the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and there's a waterfall. You've been up a creek before and ducked. Oh, there you go, there's the amazing waterfall of Sydney Harbour, down in Neutral Bay. What do you think of the waterfall, Campbell? Oh, no good? Oh, just a half, was it? Well, it's either a waterfall or it's a sewage outlet. Okay, not a sewage outlet. It could be a rainwater, but it hasn't rained in weeks, so I'd say it is a natural waterfall. Oh, could be a leaky water main.
The next bay around, Shell Cove, has a small waterfall, but it's probably only flowing after some rain.
And that's why they're all here, for the view of the Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Opera House.
Finding Avalon.
Did you see that? That was fun, mate! Dana, don't try it later!
Well, we could have had a shower over at Sirius Cove, but it's a little bit of an exposed shower. So we're over, and the Sudleys come in now, so we're over here at the Murray Rose Pool, which has got some good showers. And this one's for Dan. Dan asked about showers. Over at Rose Bay at the moment. So Rose Bay is another very sandy area, as you can see, so great for the kids to play and snorkel and kayak around on.
And play with the dog.
And to play with the dogs. It's also another dog beach. It seems to be a theme here that we seem to be hanging out all these dog beaches, don't we, Cooper?
Yeah.
So Rose Bay, yep, so Rose Bay is a really good spot to hide from the southerly. because it's on the southeasterly part of Sydney Harbour. And the other benefit of Rose Bay is that we've got all of these really good amenities here. So there's a club up there where you can have cheap dinners. So if you don't feel like cooking on board, it might be like, you know, between $15 and $25 for an evening meal, which is not too bad in Australia. There's also a little reserve here, and about only 100 metres or so, I might show you actually, 100 or 200 metres back, there's a Woolworths, which of course is a well-stocked supermarket, a cheap supermarket as well, relatively speaking, where you can pick up some supplies. The anchoring locations, if you're in a bigger boat, now just to give you an idea there, so we, as you can see, we're anchored just over here. Now, again, that's great for the trailer sailor when you've only got, you know, 200 mil of water to deal with. But most of the other normal size boats, they're actually just anchored out over here. So they've still got protection from the southerly, but they're still close. When the sand does go out a long way here at Rose Bay. So there was certainly, and I'll try and show you some footage, there were certainly waves that were breaking, you know, like 100, 200 metres off the bank here, because it was still very shallow there. So you'll just have to watch the depths as you're coming in to find your anchorage at Rose Bay.
If you are stung,
Immerse.
immerse in hot water.
Oh dear, stingrays.
Rose Bay is where several seaplane operators are based. They provide quite an entertaining backdrop, but you'll need to be a little bit cautious if you're travelling by boat through the area.
Alright, well here we are at the famous Watson's Bay. Doyle's restaurant is just here on the foreshore as well. It's famous of course for its fish and chips. Now the bay here at Watson's Bay, it's a nice sandy bay, yes, but there are some rocks here, so if you're going to pull your tender in, you might want to be a little bit careful of that. And it is a very rolly area, so there are very frequent ferries that are coming and going, and they're coming in at speed, and so there usually is a lot of rollers that are coming through this bay.
At Watson's Bay, there is a public library by the water, but one reason we wanted to visit Watson's Bay was to do the walk up to the Gap. It's only a short walk up the hill, but you can also make it a little bit longer if you walk further out to South Head also.
Oh dear.
Being in a trailer sailor means that we can get right in the bays. But even at Watson's Bay, it was way too rolly to stay the night. So we made our way around to Vaucluse Bay. Just up from the sandy beach is Vaucluse House and tea rooms. Not quite the environment for our two young boys, but we had a walk around the grounds and found a good tree to climb.
And turn up and turn around to the camera and say, climbing trees is fun.
Climbing trees is fun! That's trying to climb a water up there! No way! Not Campbell.
Campbell, focus on where you're going.
Oh God! Excuse me! Don't hit that board over there! Don't hit that board over there!
Good. Here's Mummy filming us, filming Mummy.
Stop! And I'm ready to hit the boat!
just about wraps up Sydney Harbour Part 2. There's still lots we didn't show you, so feel free to add your tip in the comments below. The video will finish with a few shots of the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House.
Oh no, the ship! Ah! Oh, Campbell, you didn't even seem scared.
If you like what you've seen, then hit the like button and please don't forget to subscribe below.